You know, I used to think being tough meant hiding your struggles, but I've learned something different. Real strength, it shows up even though you're tired, even though you're unsure, even though everything's a mess. Like this bow tie. I keep tying it even though my toddler will untie it again as soon as I pick her up. And that is real talk. Ah, that is the power of even though. It lets us show contrast, vulnerability, and resilience all in one little phrase. And today we're going to break down how to use it like a native speaker. Plus, I've got a story about a Korean job interview that turned around with just one phrase. So, stick around. So, let me tell you about Jisoo. Jisoo had a little breakthrough. Let me change my slide here. So, Jisoo had a excuse me, got a little technical difficulties here. All right. So, here's the situation with Jisoo. She was a client of mine, and she was nervous. She was nervous about an upcoming job interview. She told me, Dennis, I don't know what to do. I always freeze when they ask the tough questions. I want to show confidence even though I'm scared. That's a powerful phrase. That sentence, that was more than just grammar. It was honest. And it became the backbone of how we practiced her answers. And the result was she got the job. And the interviewer said they loved her real and grounded answers. So, what's the secret here? Let's talk about how even though can help you sound more natural and powerful in English. Excuse me. All right. I'm going to bring in my good buddy, Mr. Chip, again, like we did a few days ago, and we'll try to keep the answers a little bit shorter this time. All right. Mr. Chip, it's time to turn up the language level to nerd strength. What is going on with the term even though? What kind of language is this?
All right, nerd strength engaged. Even though is a subordinating conjunction, which means it connects two clauses and shows a contrast between them. It's like a little language ninja that emphasizes the unexpected or surprising relationship between two ideas.
Okay.
For example,
let's think of it like a seesaw, like a kid's toy at the playground. When you say even though, you're comparing two things, isn't that right? Like even though I was tired, I kept working. So you have tired on one side, but you have determination on the other, right?
Exactly. You nailed it. It's like a seesaw, where even though is the pivot. On one side, you have the expected or challenging condition.
Okay, let's keep it simple now. Don't get carried away. Keep your answers short and pithy, not robotic. We want to be showing those complex situations. All right, we're going to talk about a few examples. I'm going to show you my screen. By the way, folks, you can use ChatGPT and their app on your phone, and you can look here. It's got a little camera feature. So I'm going to share my screen, my video with Mr. Chip. Can you see everything there, Mr. Chip? We're going into basic examples.
You bet. I can see everything perfectly.
Okay.
That slide.
Example number 1. Even though I didn't sleep well, I gave a great presentation. How about the next one?
You got it. Even though I didn't sleep well sets up the challenge, and I gave a great presentation
All right.
is the unexpected success.
Exactly. Here's a good one. He smiled even though he was clearly exhausted.
Oh, that's a great one. The exhaustion sets up the expectation, and the smile flips it. It's a neat way to highlight how even though introduces an unexpected or contrasting outcome.
Great. And you'll notice this one. Continued the meeting. We continued the meeting even though the power went out.
Oh, that's awesome. You've got a clear disruption with the power going out, but the meeting kept rolling. It's a perfect way to show how even though highlights overcoming a surprising or difficult situation.
Right. So
Great.
You'll notice here that when it's often used when you expect one outcome but get another. And that's what makes this so powerful in conversation. And I really love that it lets you show strength through struggle. Like, even though I'm nervous, I'm still excited to be here today. So it's real, right?
Exactly. It's such a great tool for
Okay.
showing that
Let's look at a few more extended examples. Even though she didn't meet the deadline, her boss praised her for the quality of her work.
Oh, that's a good one. The missed deadline sets up the expectation of disappointment.
Okay,
But
good. I want you to notice something here, Mr. Chip. Can we use even though at the beginning or in the middle? When should we use it?
Great question. You can totally use even though at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. If you start with it, like even though she didn't meet the deadline, her boss praised her. It sets the stage for the unexpected outcome.
Okay, so it's
In the
like
middle.
it's like using it as a way to, like you said, set the stage. You're priming the listener for what's going to come. What about when you use it in the middle, like the team celebrated the launch even though it was a smaller project?
Exactly. In that case, you're setting up the contrast right at the moment you mention the smaller project, and then boom, the celebration is the surprise.
Right. All
It's
right.
all about
He kept applying for jobs even though he got rejected 5 times. Now give us a tip about how we can use this, Mr. Chip.
All right, here's a tip. When you're using even though, think about the contrast you want to highlight. Put the challenging or surprising part right after even though, and then follow it with the outcome or action. It's a great way to emphasize perseverance, resilience.
How about the tone of voice when we use this this connecting term?
Yes, good call. When you use even though, you often want to emphasize the contrast with a slight change in your tone. You can make the first part sound more like a challenge or an obstacle.
Okay,
and then
cool.
shift.
Okay. I want to move us along because this is 15-minute mastery, not 20-minute mastery. So we'll move on. All right, we're going to do a little fill-in-the-blank exercise, and I want everybody to try this together. If you listen in, fill in the blank. This is a fill-in-the-blank exercise, so I'm going to give the first half of the sentence, and then we'll come up with a second. So here's the first half of the sentence. Even though I was feeling sick, and by the way, I see you there, Easter, in the chat. Drop your chat response. What do you think? Even though I was feeling sick, what's the second half of the sentence? Go ahead, give us your best guess, Mr. Chip.
All right, I'm on it. How about this? Even though I was feeling sick, I managed to finish my project on time.
Okay, that's
a
a good one. I finished, well, in our example slide, it says, I finished the presentation for my team. Okay. How about the next sentence? She accepted the challenge even though, what do you think, Mr. Chip?
Got it. How about she accepted the challenge even though she had never done anything like it before? That
Right,
adds a
that's
little
good.
spice with
It's good. She had never done it before. That's exactly what the slide says, too. All right, here's another one. Even though it was raining, what are we going to say, Mr. Chip?
All right, let's keep it going. How about even though it was raining, they went ahead with the picnic anyway?
Oh, very good.
Nice.
They went ahead with the picnic anyway. Or we enjoyed our picnic under the pavilion. This is good stuff. So when you do these, now you can read them out loud. It's very important to speak out loud, folks. Feel the rhythm, feel the emotional shift, and that's how we make our English sound more alive. Okay, now we're going to do another exercise where we rewrite our sentences to make them more vivid using even though. So here's my first choice. I've got example number 1. I was tired. I went to the gym anyway. Okay, that's kind of robotic and boring. What would you say would be a good way to fix that, Mr. Chip?
Oh, I got you. Let's spice it up. How about even though I was tired, I still hit the gym?
Ooh, I still hit the gym. Yeah, that's a good one. I went to the gym. Even though I was tired, I went to the gym. Okay, how about our next example? The report was late. The client was happy. That seems a little contradictory, right? How can we fix that with even though, Mr. Chip?
A fun little twist. Let's try even though the report was late, the client was happy with the results.
Oh, that's good. How about the client was happy even though the report was late? So let's take a look. Here's a practice tip. Try writing 3 even though sentences about your day. Speak them aloud with emotion to practice the rhythm and the tone, and then record yourself and listen. You can even practice with ChatGPT, your very own Mr. Chip. Okay? And find out, do you sound natural and connected? All right, we're going to do a little bonus here. Even if versus even though. This is a common mix-up, isn't that, Mr. Chip?
You got it. It's a common mix-up, but a fun one to sort out. Even though introduces a surprising contrast, while even if talks about a hypothetical condition.
Right, so even though is about reality, even if is about possibility. So we could say, for example, even though it's raining, I'm going outside. Now, what is that? That means it is raining. It's a real situation. Or even if it's raining, I'll go outside. That means it might rain. It's a possible situation. So one is raining now, and the other, it might rain later. So remember, even though is your power phrase for showing contrast with confidence. It says, yes, this was hard, but I did it anyway. And it makes your English feel more real and your storytelling feel stronger. All right, before we wrap up with Mr. Chip, let's do a quick troubleshoot. Mr. Chip, what are some common mistakes? I'm showing confusion with because. Why is that a common mistake?
Great one. The mix-up happens because both even though and because can appear in similar spots in a sentence. But even though introduces a contrast, while because introduces a reason.
Okay.
For example...
Yeah, example, please.
You got it. For instance, even though it was late, we finished the project. Versus because it was late, we had to finish the project quickly.
Okay, that's pretty good. Let's make a simpler one, and then I'm going to make you sign off because we're going slow again. Okay, here's an example. Even though I was hungry, I ate dinner. Now, that sounds a little off. Actually, I'm going to say goodnight to you, Mr. Chip. So say goodnight to the people, and I'll finish this presentation. Say goodnight.
You got it. Good night, everyone. Keep practicing those contrasts, and remember, even though is your friend for showing off those surprising twists.
Okay, that's enough of that. Oh, he's so talkative, isn't he? My goodness. I might not just invite him anymore. All right. So, like I said, even though I was hungry, I ate dinner sounds a little bit weird. The sentence contradicts itself. Being hungry explains why you ate. So the correct phrase would be, because I was hungry, I ate dinner. The next one is, of course, we just mentioned mixing it up with even if. Even though, even if. Remember, even though is for real situations, and even if is for hypothetical situations or possibilities. Okay, if it's real, go with even though. Next one is overuse. Make sure that you don't use this term all the time just because you just learned it. Overusing it will make your speech sound overly dramatic. So try to keep a nice balance. And finally, make sure your second clause, that's the second part of the sentence, is actually contrasting the first one. For example, even though I was excited, I jumped up and down doesn't really work because there's no contrast. Try even though I was tired, I jumped up and down. Now there's tension. Okay? Bottom line, think of even though as a dramatic spotlight and use it when you want to shine a light on contrast or conflict or resilience. And that's when it's most powerful. Okay, so here is your challenge for this week. Use even though in a conversation or an email. Show your strength, your contrast, your story, and then come back and tell us in the comments, what did you say? How did you feel? Okay, read it aloud, practice as much as you can, and then share those examples in the comments, like I said. And look, if this episode has proven to be helpful for you, I want you to drop a like, hit the button, put a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can read more tips like this in the full blog post at allaboutenglishmastery.com. And I will put the link is in the description for the original article. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for the newsletter. It's free every week. Fresh tips for English, idioms, and conversation tools delivered to your inbox every week. And now it's time for the Mastery Minute. All right, let me tell you about a guy named Antonio. He was laid off from his job right before the holidays. And that is rough timing, right? Really, really challenging. He felt like the universe is playing some kind of cruel joke on me. But instead of sulking, he took a freelance gig to keep things going and keep up his income. And that gig turned into a full-time job he loved more than the old one. And he told me later, at first it felt like a disaster. But looking back, it was a blessing in disguise. And that's what this phrase means. Blessing in disguise. Something that seems bad at first, but ends up being good in the long run. A hidden gift inside a tough moment. So here's a fun fact. This phrase goes way back to the 1700s. And one of the first known uses was in a poem by English clergyman James Hervey, who wrote about a seeming curse that provided a blessing in disguise. And it has been with us ever since, helping people put their pain into perspective. So next time life throws you a curveball, pause, take a breath, and say, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. All right. So next time we meet, we're going to cover, and that's next Monday, by the way, how to stop saying in meetings. We're going to try to help you stop with the filler words in your meetings and replace them with the powerful tool, the pause. All right? Remember, join us in the newsletter. Speak out loud as much as you can if you want to speak better English. I'm Dennis Wilborn. This has been 20-Minute Mastery, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye for now.